Queen Camilla offered insight into King Charles's health as Princess Kate's brother is set to release an emotional memoir. Plus, Prince Harry will not attend the wedding with Prince William as Princess Beatrice is stepping up her royal duties. And royal author Christopher Anderson reveals whether or not Princess Kate will attend Trooping the Color.
Now, this is going to be interesting, isn't it? She may appear on the balcony. That's not too much of a strain on her, I wouldn't think.
We got that plus so much more in today's Royally Us. Hey everyone, and welcome to Royally Us. I'm Christina, that's Christine, and yes, lots of different stories going on this week in royal news.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about. I think just when we think that we're not going to have much to discuss this week, we start researching and all these stories pop up.
It's so true. All right, well, let's get right into it. And the Princess of Wales's initiative to encourage businesses to create the right conditions to help parents and their children is taking another step forward. So the Royal Foundation Business Task Force for Early Childhood has published a new report that sets out the case for prioritizing early childhood, and the first action is to be taken as a result of its work. Kate, who, according to Prince William, is doing well. He said this earlier this month, but she is not expected to return to work until she has been given the all clear to do so by her medical team. But she was talked through the report's findings and the next steps by Christian Guy, who is an executive director of the Royal Foundation Center for Early Childhood. So while she is taking some time to prioritize her health, the initiative that she is so passionate about is moving forward. So I'm sure she's excited for that.
Yeah, we know that she's doing very, very light work behind the scenes, probably no more than like checking an email on her iPhone from time to time. She's really not back to royal duties, but this was such a huge project and a huge report that the Early Childhood Foundation was publishing that I'm sure she wanted to be aware and be on top of what was going on. Again, the palace is really pressing that she's not returning to royal duties. This is not a sign that she's back to work necessarily, but this is such a large project for the Royal Foundation for Early Childhood that I think they were really excited about the initiative and really wanted to get the information out there.
Yeah, definitely. So definitely a bright spot in what's going on in her life right now. All right. Well, Queen Camilla offered some promising insight into King Charles's current state of health. While attending a garden party on May 16th, she shared that Charles is getting better. And she followed up her statement with a quip, well, he would if he behaved himself. Her update comes 3 months after the monarch was diagnosed with cancer following a routine prostate procedure. So yes, always taking a little joke, which I like, but would love to know how he's not behaving.
I mean, we know he's tremendously hardworking. So many people have said he works late into the night and he's the first one up in the morning. And those red boxes come every single day, whether he's resting or not. So I imagine from what we know of King Charles, he is not resting as much as he's supposed to. He's not taking as much time off as, his doctors are probably telling him to go lie down. And he's instead, looking at formal documents and then pottering in the garden. And I can just see Queen Camilla sort of chasing after him saying, no, go sit down. You need your rest. And we know that he's a tireless worker. He's hugely dedicated to his work. And we're seeing that as he's returned to light royal duties in the last few weeks.
Right. Yeah. Light royal duties, but it still seems like so much. So he's definitely not slowing down. Well, this was a story that divided the internet. It divided royal watchers. It divided pretty much everybody. So artist Jonathan Yeo is overjoyed by the reaction of his portrait of King Charles. He unveiled the mostly red portrait at Buckingham Palace on May 14th. And is the first official portrait of Charles since his coronation. And it sent a shockwave through the internet with art critics and social media users alike divided by the work's bold use of the color red. He shared via Instagram that his mind has truly been blown by the debate around his paintings. He wrote, "It's strangely reassuring to know a painted portrait can still spark so many conversations in an image-saturated age. If there's anyone who hasn't come up with their own outlandish interpretation yet, feel free to stick one in the comments below, a copy of the Da Vinci Code for the most original." He said there may have been some underlying motivations for bathing the king in so much red. He did suffer a heart attack during the 3-year process of the painting, and adding that it was not something he was conscious of. He added, "It was just, I like this color." I mean, he must like red a lot.
This is such a funny story. The comments and the memes and the jokes, they are very entertaining. I hope people have gotten a good laugh out of them. everyone who's seen the painting in person says that it's so vibrant and beautiful and moving, and it's more of like a pinkish, bluish tone red, not necessarily the sort of graphic blood red that people have it as. But I love this discourse. It's so amazing to see how a conversation about a royal portrait, a portrait of a monarch, evolves in 2024. It's still talked about worldwide. It kind of goes to show how, influential these things can still be, albeit in a very different way than royal portraits of the past. But yes, I think it's well worth looking at some of those memes. They are pretty funny.
They are pretty funny. I honestly thought it was a joke when I first saw it. I was like, that's not real. Oh, okay. That's that. We're doing that. So, I mean, I'm sure, like you said, it's probably totally different in person and probably just photographs. Strangely, but quite the interpretation. It really was. All right. Well, like we said before, King Charles doesn't seem to be slowing down, and he booked his first overseas engagement since undergoing cancer treatment. Buckingham Palace revealed that he and Queen Camilla will travel to France in June with other members of the royal family to mark the 80th anniversary of the D-Day landings. After visiting monuments in Portsmouth, England, the couple will journey to Versailles in Normandy, France. On June 6th, they will attend the Ministry of Defense and the Royal British Legion's commemorative event at the British Normandy Memorial. His Majesty is the patron of the Royal British Legion. Prince William and the King's sister, Princess Anne, will also join them in Normandy for additional engagements. I know that they always commemorate D-Day, so this is, while it's probably not a long trip, it's definitely something that, takes him out of his comfort zone where she's been in the past few months.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is, it's a big step forward in terms of his health and his return to public duties. Mm-hmm. It probably will be very tiring for him. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he had a few quiet days or quiet week afterwards. But this was so expected. If he was going to return to public facing duties for anything, it was going to be these D-Day commemorations, because as you said, this is so important to the royal family, remembering D-Day, remembering all those who were lost during World War I and World War II. It's a huge part of British culture even. I mean, this is remembered with very somber tones every time, every year, every anniversary. This one is a big anniversary, but I would say every anniversary is commemorated by members of the royal family.
Right. No, definitely. I found this story very interesting that King Charles is officially richer than his mother, the late Queen Elizabeth. Now, this is according to the Sunday Times. The Sunday Times' 2024 rich list. So this list states that Charles is currently the 258th wealthiest person in the UK with a personal wealth of approximately $770 million. So he is reportedly over $300 million richer than Elizabeth was prior to her September 2022 death. So per the outlet's 2022 rich list, Elizabeth amassed a personal wealth of $486 million before she passed away. Charles' personal wealth has also increased by $12 million since last year's rich list. So interesting, definitely an interesting list, don't you think?
It's such an interesting list when you sort of think about how members of the royal family amass their wealth and what it actually means. It's not like he has a credit card limit of 700 million pounds or $700 million. And he's not even close to the richest man in the country still. His Prince George's godfather, Hugh Grosvenor, who we'll talk about in a little bit, is worth $12.8 billion. So in the grand scheme of things, $770 million, is that really?
Right.
Is it really all that much?
It's pocket change.
A huge amount of wealth, but it's not quite, like what he has sitting in the bank.
All right, moving on. I am so excited for this. So Princess Kate's brother, James Middleton, is ready to spill some secrets. He will be releasing his memoir, Meet Ella, the Dog Who Saved My Life, on September 26th. So the story will chronicle James's childhood, being raised in Berkshire by his parents, Michael and Carol, and growing up alongside his sisters, Kate and Pippa, and his first dog, Ella. So a description of the book published by Simon & Schuster reads, when he was a child, James Middleton wanted nothing more than a dog of his own. Struggling to connect in the classroom, James would often take off in pursuit of nature and animals, exploring the countryside, tinkering with rusty farm machinery, caring for injured creatures, and losing himself for hours to the outdoors. James's pleas for a dog were finally answered, and the description adds that the book traces the extraordinary bond between the young boy and Ella. and goes on to say that beyond the glamorous veneer of society engagements and entrepreneurial achievements lies a deeply personal account of James's battle with depression, adding that the dog emerges as an intuitive friend, reading James's moods and offering solace during the darkest hours. I'm so excited for this book. I think it's going to be a wonderful read. He has opened up in the past about how his dog Ella has, pulled him out of a deep state of depression. So I'm sure this is going to be a beautiful story.
I think I'm really looking forward to it. I'm sort of torn because I don't really expect loads of inner secrets of the Middleton family. I don't think we're going to get all the tidbits that, maybe are being rumored, if you will. But I think anyone who's owned a dog or loved a dog or any animal, I mean, how amazing are pets to know when we are at our darkest moment, be there for us. So I think this is definitely going to be a tearjerker of a book, but I am so looking forward to it.
I really am too. I know September can't come soon enough. All right, let's spill some royal tea. And Princess Beatrice is bringing her royal family duties to the next level. A source tells Us Weekly that Beatrice will be stepping up the number of engagements that she does. This is after the Daily Mail reported that Beatrice will have a bigger role within the monarchy as the royal family's health crisis continues. The insider made it clear that Beatrice will not stand in for Princess Kate, but her newfound role will be to help the royals out and be available to do more. I feel like we've seen that. We've seen other members of the royal family step up. Kind of surprised that it's taken maybe this long for her to really kind of immerse herself into more royal duties. But the monarchy is very slim and they need kind of everybody to help out right now.
Yeah, definitely. I love Princess Beatrice and her sister Princess Eugenie, and we all love Zara and Mike Tyndall. We've seen them. They're stepping out at a garden party this week, so we're probably going to see them more present supporting the royal family. The problem with Princess Beatrice and Eugenie they are wonderful as individuals, but there's always that really sort of dark tie to their father, who has such a negative public image and the public really, disapprove of him. But I can't express enough how lovely and warm and regal Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie are. And I do hope that they are able to step into more royal roles, because the monarchy, we've talked about it so many times, it's too slim. We've gone down too far. And I think they would be really happy, young, fresh faces.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I couldn't agree with you more. All right. Well, Prince Harry will skip the wedding of his friend and his son Archie's godfather, Hugh Grosvenor, like we just spoke about, the billionaire. So this is while his older brother, Prince William, is set to be an usher at the ceremony. So Harry and his wife, Meghan, are expected to miss the ceremony to avoid Harry's fractured relationship with William overshadowing his friend's big day. Now, this is per the Times. So Grosvenor will marry Olivia Henson at Chester Cathedral in Chester, England on June 7th, with around 400 guests expected to attend. He is considered, like we said, one of the richest men in the UK. He is the godfather to both Archie and William's eldest son, Prince George. And his own godfather is King Charles. And King Charles, I believe, is reportedly not expected to attend the wedding either, as he continues to undergo cancer treatment. But Prince Harry was very close to him, maybe still is, but I guess it's probably the right decision to kind of take this one for the team and step out, because the headline would be all about William and Harry.
Yeah, it would. It would really take away from the event. And then obviously with Harry's ongoing disagreement with his security provisions in the UK,
right.
He's always going to struggle with that. So I think he's really only going to be there when it is absolutely top priority, and probably not as often as he would like. But this is going to be the wedding of the year. Yeah. I mean, the most royal wedding that we will see for a long time. I'm really looking forward to it. Prince William is rumored to be an usher at the event. Yep. And I would not be surprised if we see certain little page boys and bridesmaids from Prince William's children as well. I don't know for sure, but I think lots of people are expecting that. And as you said, the Princess of Wales is not expected to attend, and neither is the King. But honestly, I'm so looking forward to this. It's like the most royal wedding we're going to get for a long time. You're
so right. I wonder what a $1 billion wedding could look like. It's going to be something to watch. It's going to be a good one. All right. Well, Prince Harry and Meghan celebrated their return to the U.S. after their trip to Nigeria by stepping out to dinner with some friends. They were spotted at Lucky Steakhouse in Montecito, California, with their friends Brian and Tracy Robbins. The night The night out came one day before the pair officially marked their 6th wedding anniversary. I can't believe it's been 6 years. It's so crazy. It seems like it was yesterday. They enjoyed their California date night nearly 2 weeks after they kicked off their 3-day visit to Nigeria. They began their trip, which commemorated the 10th anniversary of Harry's Invictus Games, by touring and meeting with students of the Lightweight Academy on May 10th. It seems like they had a really nice, I mean, we didn't get a chance to kind of break down their trip to Nigeria, but it seems like it was a successful visit during their time.
It looked like a really successful visit. I think you can always tell by how happy people are to meet them and interact with them, and how positive it is for the organizations and the projects that they, get to see and learn more about. That's really what these visits are about. And lots of people do these, royals do them, but obviously celebrities do them. We've seen lots of humanitarian visits from Angelina Jolie, Emma Watson. So this is very much like we've spoken about. This visit to Nigeria is Harry and Meghan getting to the work and us being able to talk about the work that they're doing rather than anything else. But I'm glad they got in a date night. Was it an early anniversary dinner with friends? Who knows? But it's nice. It's probably nice for them to be home and, getting out and about.
Definitely. I'm sure it was. I'm sure they enjoyed spending some time with their children as well. But I'm sure, a lot of their happiness was kind of overshadowed by this news about their Archwell Foundation. So during a May 14th speech, Governor Gavin Newsom came to the Archwell Foundation's defense, noting, "I just want folks to know not only are they in compliance, it was a technical paperwork issue that was wildly overhyped. It was very typical technical issue around paperwork that persists for so many others as well. They are a celebrated organization that does great work in the state of California. I wanted to clarify that because that's important." So what happened was earlier that week, California Attorney General Rob Bonta deemed Archwell delinquent in an official letter because the organization did not submit its registration fees and annual reports on time. They responded saying that they have diligently investigated the situation and can confirm that the Archwell Foundation remains fully compliant and in good standing. So it seems like this was maybe much to do about nothing, but yes, it was very overhyped, and it seems like there was just some technical issues.
Yeah, it sounds like, we've all been there where the government paperwork doesn't go quite as we had liked. But this is a good example where everything Harry and Meghan does, unfortunately, is now under an incredible microscope, where hundreds of businesses and organizations might have this same issue pop up with a clerical error, or someone's in the office didn't file the paperwork the way they were supposed to. And yet when it happens to Harry and Meghan, they're put under a tremendous amount of scrutiny. It becomes like headline international news when it's actually, like you said, much to do about nothing.
All right, well, let's break down the royal rules. And Trooping the Color is just a few weeks away. And on June 15th, many eyes will be on the balcony and wondering if Princess Kate will be making an appearance. Well, we spoke recently to Christopher Anderson about the probability of Kate being on the balcony. Take a look. There was a report that her hiatus may be prolonged. When you heard that, what kind of went through your mind? Does it seem like maybe this is more serious?
That was my feeling. Yes. I mean, I think we're not being told, don't we think that we're not being told the details for a reason? I mean, I don't want to stir things up unnecessarily, but if this were something, there are a number of cancers that are not easily dealt with, but more curable than others, more easily handled than others. And so it is, look, I think sunlight is the best treatment here. I think that in terms of their approach, their public relations approach to this, that they really should step up, the palace and tell people, maybe not in great detail, but at least what we're dealing with here. So it's wild speculation.
Do you think that we'll see her at the trooping?
No, I think quite well. Now, this is going to be interesting, isn't it? She may appear on the balcony. That's not too much of a strain on her, I wouldn't think. But if she doesn't, it's just going to look sad and odd and send the message that things are perhaps a little worse than we thought, And so we'll have to wait. But I understand she's not taking place, and she's the only thing that could be required of her is to be on that balcony with the children and William. If William's there alone, it'll be quite a sad moment.
Yeah, I feel like this is probably going to be maybe like a close to game time decision, depending on how she feels. And, you know, if she feels comfortable and confident and wants to be in front of all those people.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, like a tremendous amount of scrutiny on her as well. She would really have to look picture perfect. So that's a lot of pressure. Maybe she should save it to the day.
I think so too, yeah. All right, well, let's wrap it up with our pint-sized palace. And Meghan and Harry's daughter, Princess Lilibet, is growing up before their very eyes. Meghan told Lightweight Academy in Nigeria, our daughter Lily, she's much, much tinier than you guys. She's about to turn 3. A few weeks ago, she looked at me and she would just see the reflection in my eyes. She said, Mama, I see me in you. Oh my God, that's so cute. I love that so much. Yeah, you know, she added, she was talking really literally, but I hung onto those words in a very different way. And I thought, yes, I do see me and you see me and you. But as I look around this room, I see myself in all of you as well. I love that so much. It's amazing what, like, you know, those little words can make such a big difference.
Oh, they really can. I think children can really be, even when they're talking so literally, they can be really poetic. And especially when you've had a long day as a mom or a dad or a caretaker, those moments really mean so, so much.
They really do. All right. Well, that is it for this week's episode of Royally As. Christine, thank you so much as always.
It's fun. I loved all the stories this week.
Definitely. All right. Well, keep commenting, keep subscribing, and we'll see you next week.